What's going on, YouTube? So right before we get started, I just wanted you guys to know that Laowa, they did send this lens over to me for evaluation, but they don't have any say on my opinion about this lens. And also, I want to clarify that this particular lens, this Laowa 14mm f4 lens at 500 USD, this lens is optically different than their previous models. Yes, this is a different optic design, it seems. So I just want you guys know this is a brand new model by Laowa, and this is for the DSLR market. This is for the Nikon F mount, and they do make one for the Canon EF. So that is something for you guys to know. And I know a lot of folks are wondering, why are they making a DSLR mount? In my honest opinion, I think it's actually a smart move because you can have versatility between a Z mount and also a F mount, and also any other mirrorless camera that can accept F mount in terms of using an adapter, right? And also, if you are using the Megadap adapter on the Z mount, you could have autofocus. So making a DSLR mount is actually more versatile than making a Z mount. So that's just my opinion, because I know a lot of folks out there are probably doing that right now with all the other lenses, because we are in the midst of this transition between DSLR and mirrorless. So with that in mind, this Laowa 14mm f4 lens also comes with a removable lens hood, which allows you to adapt a 67mm filter. So that is really nice for those people that are doing landscape photography and also videography. And last but not least, this lens right here comes with something that I wish every single lens company have, which is a calibration for the infinity focus. Because if you guys saw my Megadap adapter video, my Rokinon 14mm 2.8 lens has a problem with the infinity focus. I have 3 different copies in the past, and every single time when you align it to the infinity focus, it doesn't work. The Laowa allows you to actually calibrate your lens to actually have your infinity focus on the line. So that is really clever by Laowa. So that is, yeah, very useful actually. And speaking about the Rokinon comes at 300 USD, and we'll be comparing the Rokinon versus the Laowa lens. And also, I just want to mention that the Rokinon lens hood, you guys know it, it does not, it's not able to be removed. So that is a big bummer for these last few years with the Rokinon. I wish I could remove my lens hood to slap on a filter thread, but you can't, because the lens is bulbous and it's bulging out pretty much. So, and also as for the weight, the Rokinon weighs about 573 grams, whereas the Laowa weighs about 449 grams. So with all that said, let's take a look at some image quality tests between these two lenses at $300 versus $500. Now, here is 2.8 Rokinon versus the f4 on the Laowa. And as you can see, even though Rokinon is offering a 2.8 aperture, you got to be careful when you read those specs, because at 2.8 it's a soft 2.8. So that is something for you guys to know. And at f4, you guys can see the clear difference between each lens at this point. The saturation on the Laowa is a lot nicer than the Rokinon, and also the edges are a lot sharper than the Rokinon on the Laowa. So that's something for you guys to know. At 5.6, the story remains the same. The saturation on the Laowa is very nice, and also the edge performance on the Laowa does way better than the Rokinon. At f8, the story remains the same. The Laowa saturation is a lot more pleasant than the Rokinon. And if you take a look at the edges, I would have to give it to the Laowa. The Laowa is more crisp and clear, whereas the Rokinon, you will eventually need to crop the edges. Around f11, the story remains the same. Definitely the saturation on the Laowa is a lot nicer than the Rokinon, and also the edges. And at f16, the Laowa and the Rokinon seems to be even in terms of sharpness, just about, but I'll have to say that the saturation on the Laowa is a lot better than the Rokinon. And as for distortion, definitely the Rokinon do have distortion issues, whereas the Laowa has a 0D. So if you are shooting architecture, I would definitely recommend you guys the Laowa. And also the Laowa has better control on the chromatic aberration. So just to wrap things up, the Rokinon comes in at 300 USD, whereas the Laowa comes in at 500 USD. So there's a $200 difference, of course. With that $200 difference, that is the image quality, right? If you think about it, because number one, you're getting better saturation than the Rokinon, right? You're getting better chromatic aberration control. You're getting better distortion control. Also, you get to use your screw-on filters. Also, it is lighter than the Rokinon. Also, this is still crazy to me. You get to calibrate the infinity focus. And also, last but not least, you get better edges on the Laowa than the Rokinon. With the Rokinon, you always need to crop off the edges because it was never sharp to begin with. Now, there's actually one issue with the Laowa that I need to bring up that everyone should know. The biggest issue with the Laowa is, well, they have the Nikon version and the Canon version, right? The Canon version is chipped. The Nikon version is not. So you are actually getting the XF data if you're shooting Canon EF mount. Pretty much, right? I don't know why they did that. There must be a reason why, but for me, I don't use the chip. But for some of you guys that need XF data, this is something for you guys to consider. So with all that said, thank you guys for checking me back. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely click like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out the merch store. And yep, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one, all right? Take it easy. Peace.